Leigh Farnell here, and I'm putting this presentation together because of a conversation I had at water polo training this morning with one of the ladies, Lisbeth, that comes along. She's an absolute champion of a person. Every Friday night she makes a cake and brings it, and we all have it after we go swimming and have water polo. She's done it for like the last 4 or 5 years. An absolute champion. We were sitting there talking today. I was talking about just getting things done and life and this and that. And she said, she said a couple of things to me, what I want to share with you, and it relates to making progress at anything you choose and how to stop killing time to live your life. The problem, and I've seen it with my clients and myself and my kids and my family, my son with his Xbox and the girls cleaning up their room or doing whatever, is we all sometimes get into procrastination, particularly sales. People say, oh, I wish I could do this, but I'm not doing it, or you're doing things and you're wasting time, or you feel like you're treading water and getting nowhere, or just not making progress, and maybe even feeling a bit lost and directionless, and going, where am I heading? What am I doing? And just not getting enough done, the feeling of not getting enough done, which is okay at times to relax, but if that goes on for days or even weeks, then it really is time for action. So this came up because, well, many times clients and people I work with want to make progress faster, sell more, get things more done in factories or their work as lawyers, and it got me thinking about the whole idea of progress. In the last few weeks we've been doing a lot of work in goal setting goals. And I realised, whether it be I want to increase sales, or I want to save money, or I want to learn the guitar, or I want to get fit, the way I think about myself and the way I think about my goal has a massive impact. If I'm an optimist or pessimist, if I think it can be done or it can't be done. As Henry Ford said, whether you think it can be done or can't be done, doesn't matter. Either way, you're right. So a can-do attitude, self-esteem, as Dr. Maxwell Maltz in Psycho-Cybernetics says, your self-image needs to match your goal. It's going to be very hard for you to meet a girlfriend or a boyfriend or a partner if you think you're ugly or not worthy. So your attitude needs to change. Then, of course, there's the plan. What's the plan you've got to achieve your goal? We know that needs to be specific, measurable, achievable, realistic and relevant, and have a time frame, a smart goal and a plan. And then there's the doing. It's all very well having the plan, but then you've got to do. You've got to get things done. You've got to say, I'm going to do it. I'm going to get up tomorrow morning and I'm going to do it. Or I'm going to get up off the couch right now and I'm going to go do it. And you actually have to take time and energy and just start. Get on with it. I was just watching a George Harrison documentary, and he was talking about at times when he didn't want to do things, and he found that just by getting up and doing it, it was never as hard as he thought. It was the thinking about how hard it was that was the issue, not the actual doing itself. Then when you do it, you take up the guitar, or you start to do the exercise program, or you pick up the phone and start speaking to people, you get a result. It's either the result you want, or it's the result you didn't want. It's either better than you thought, or worse than you thought, or what you thought. Either way, it's a result. Then you take that feedback and you say, okay, what can I learn from it? How do I take it to help me? What do I do with that feedback? And my success or otherwise then affects my thinking. And in most cases, when you have a crack at something, particularly if you go, what did I learn from it, or I've done it, it changes my thinking. Actually, that wasn't as bad as I thought. Actually, I can do it. I can do that exercise program. I did learn how to play the E string on the guitar. I did get better at making phone calls on the phone. And so it's a journey that actually starts with the goal and your thinking. And a central part of it is the actual doing. Sitting around playing Xbox, you're going to get better at Xbox, but that's not living life. It's not the doing. As Lisbeth said to me this morning, she's renovated her house, she's saved money, she's got fit, she's bought a business. All of it started with a goal, and then thinking it can be done, and then planning, and then doing it, getting on with doing it. As I said, learning the guitar, a goal I had 10 years ago, and I got the guitar and started learning. My plan, ring up someone who can teach me how to do it, go to the internet and download some chords and just start doing. I took the guitar with me as I travelled around Australia and just practiced 5, 10, 20 minutes a night. And over time, here we are, we've got the band. It's been going for like 10, 15 years now. It's saving money. So thinking about it can be done. It is possible to put that 5% away or 10% away. It can be done. Do it. What's the plan? Direct debit straight out of the account. Buying an investment property. Well, what's the thing? Well, it is possible. I can buy an investment property. It is possible to do that. No, you can't do that. You're not worthy of that. No. People in your family don't have investment properties, so why should you? So there's the internal dialogue you have to overcome, and again, that's where planning, getting knowledge from people who already know, who've already done it, who can coach you in doing it. But you make the phone call. What is so much of doing is actually the phone call, the first phone call. Selling a big contract. I remember thinking about, okay, we want to not just sell 2,000 or 5,000, how do we sell 20, 30, 40, 50, 100,000? Well, it starts with the thinking. It can be done. Other people do it. Why can't you do it? Let's put a plan in place so that there's overwhelming value in the services you offer, and put that plan together. And then doing might even include practicing. As one of my coaches said, sometimes people have to practice actually saying that's going to be $5,000 or that's going to be $10,000, because you've never said it before. You at times might stumble when you mention a number you've never mentioned before. But it's all planning and then doing. And the result, how'd you go? Did it work? Did it not work? What could you do differently or better next time? Then there's the planning and getting the best possible price for your product or service. How would you plan on doing that? Well, part of that is planning on articulating the incredible value you deliver and the value of solving that problem. Something as simple as buying a t-shirt in Bali, where you're going, look, I'm going to go out there, they're going to say to me it's worth $50, and I'm going to say to them it's worth $2. And somewhere along the line we're going to settle on $3 or $4 or $5. And somewhere along the line, if they don't come at the price I want, I will walk away. And if they want to sell it to me, they'll say come back. And if they don't want to sell it to me, they'll let me keep walking. And so that's a plan. And then you go out and do it. And of course, for the first time you do anything, you're out of your comfort zone. You can feel your heart beating in your chest. You do it. First time around, you might stuff it up. As my friend Glenn Capelli says, the first pancake in the batch is always the lumpiest. The lumpy pancake theory. The first time you do anything, you're probably going to stuff it up, or it's not going to be as good as you'd like it to be. That's okay. That's a result. That's feedback. But at least you've made one step closer, and your mind, your thinking says, wow, I actually did it. I made the first step. I learned something from that. A mate of mine gets investors into $50 and $100 million projects. His thinking starts with, it can be done. This is a great deal. I can do it. He does meticulous planning and meticulous calculations, and then he gets on the phone and he starts talking to people, and he starts sending out the prospectus, and people say to him, but I don't think that's a good deal. And he has already thought about every possible objection, and he rehearses those objections in his planning. And when something goes wrong, it doesn't work, he says it's a result, he learns from it, he gets back on the horse, and away he goes again. And literally, he is a multimillionaire with hundreds of millions of dollars these days in very successful investment projects. But it all starts with the goal, what do I want, and then thinking about that goal. We can look at another way. There's the goal. There is how I think about that goal. My weight loss, my exercise, my going overseas with my family, my investment projects, my marketing programs, how I think. It starts in the mind. As you dream it, so you can do it. It says that Think and Grow Rich. Walt Disney, if you dream it, you can do it. It's there. Dream it, plan it, do it. Then I put the plan in place. Then I do it. I get a result. I take the feedback and I learn from it. And an important part of it is celebrating progress. Hey, you did a good job. Hey, you did a good job. Hey, because there's that other voice. No, that wasn't good enough. That wasn't good enough. That wasn't good enough. No, it was a lesson. I learned something. I can move on. I celebrate. You've made progress. Your self-image changes the first time you go for a walk or a jog and walk the dog, or go for a swim or ride the push bike. Wow, that wasn't so bad. In fact, that was fun, and well done for doing it. And as Elizabeth says, the trick, the secret to it all is you make a list, make a list, make a list. And I know sometimes I get slack and don't make the list, and the list is the secret. I was seeing on the George Harrison documentary, there it was, a complete list of everything from recording different songs and writing different songs and planting trees in the garden. I remember seeing in a friend's house lists of things they wanted to do around the house, and as they did them, they crossed them off. And another colleague, a client, at one stage she had this book and she had a list after list, and every time she achieved something she'd rub it off vigorously and like have an internal celebration. And that's such an important point. So I must have a list. It's a note to myself. I must have a list for every day. I must have a list for every day. I must chunk out my day hour by hour, sometimes even every half hour by half hour. Fill up my day with activity. It's activity leads to opportunity. And then I prioritise my projects. What are the important things I need to be doing? And of course, it's my choice whether I do it or not. It's your choice whether you do it or don't do it. It's really up to me. It's really up to you. The choice is yours. It all starts with a sheet of paper and a pen. You just make that list. What's my goal? What's the list? What are the things I need to start making it happen? And then I get on with it. Folks, note to self, it's really up to me. If it is to be, it's up to me. It's really up to you. It's your choice. Hope this has been of use to you. It's Leigh Farnell. Want more information? Go to the blog. There it is, leighfarnell.com. Make the list. Make progress. As ye think, so shall ye do. The Earl Nightingale greatest secret, as he said, what we think about all day long, we become. Think about it, plan it, do it, learn from it, move on and grow, and you change your self-image to be a doer, not just a thinker or procrastinator. You are a doer. Your life's too important to just let it waste away. If it is to be, it's up to me. See you next time. Leigh Farnell.